Here is my review and thoughts about the Kaweco Brass Sport fountain pen, which I've had for a couple weeks, and as you can see, it's already developed a really nice patina, and I got the raw bronze clip for it as well, which I think matches very well with this pen. But I thought I would compare it to the Traveler's Company brass fountain pen, and they are both pocket pens, and they're both brass. They're both made out of solid raw brass, by the way. But to me, they are both the same, but also different in many other aspects. And maybe I'll get into that into this video. But I just want to say that the Kaweco Sport in brass is my favorite pen of all time and my favorite fountain pen. And I'm not really a huge fountain pen guy, and I say that like in the sense that I'm not a pen collector or a fountain pen collector, though I do love fountain pens, and I can appreciate the hobby of collecting pens in general. But my intended purposes was to just carry a pen on me at all times with my traveler's notebook, the passport size, and just whatever comes into my life, whatever comes my way that strikes me as interesting or whatever, or for practical purposes, taking notes down, or just anything like that. Anything that happens in my life where I need to take notes or write something down, that was my purpose. And I think that the pocket pen suits that role for me very well, just because the compact size of the pen, and just in particular, specifically, I think brass as a metal is just a really nice material, where you can see the patina already. It doesn't look brand new, and it doesn't have to be. And I like it that way because though it's nice to see something brand new and shiny, if you're carrying this on your person every day and it's getting bumped around in your pocket or whatever, you're not really going to care about little tiny scratches or little dings or things like that. It just adds to the character, to the history of the pen, really. And I think that these pens truly are collectible and can be heirloom pieces. You can pass this down, for generations. These will last, as long as whoever is in possession of it takes care of it, right? Anyways, sort of lost track, but so the Kaweco Sport, let me get it open here. To me is a finer pen than the Traveler's Company, and don't get me wrong, they're both very great pens, and I enjoy using them both, but I just prefer the Kaweco Sport more. And the reason, I'll just get right into it. The reason is because the grip section, the barrel and the grip section is thicker, and I just prefer that when I'm writing, as I grip the pen and I'm writing, it's more comfortable. Whereas I find with the Traveler's Company, it's a bit thinner. it still feels good in hand. So it's still comfortable to write with. Although you have to for me, I find that my grip changes just slightly. My pressure, the pressure I apply changes a little bit different. It's a change. I wouldn't. It's not bad, but it's a change. And actually, I think that's a good thing because it forces you to adapt and to change. But overall, the Kaweco Sport in brass, it just has the right balance, the right feel, the right ergonomics and geometry when I'm writing. It just sits perfectly in the crux of my thumb and finger here, right in the meaty portion of my hand. It just sits perfectly, and the circumference, the diameter, is just the perfect amount of size and weight for me to just write comfortably. And I guess you could argue, that these pocket pens aren't meant for maybe long note-taking sessions or long writing sessions, but I don't know. I disagree. I think that any pen can be comfortable. It just depends on how it's made and its geometry and how you write. And maybe for some people that this is really comfortable, and it's still comfortable relatively speaking, but when I'm writing for a long period of time, say I'm journaling, the grip is just a little too thin for me, and my fingers get tired. Whereas Kaweco Sport, with its thicker grip and barrel section, I don't know. I just like it. I just prefer it more. And the aesthetics, the look, the design, I like them both. I think that this is a lot more practical in its design, utilitarian. And that's neither a good thing or a bad thing. Well, it's a good thing, but it's not a bad thing per se. Whereas with the Kaweco Sport, I just really love the design, the look of it. It's also practical, but it has, I think, to me, just a little bit more refinedness, a little bit more elegance, and especially in the clip that you have to buy separately. I wish it came with one, but the clip, it's just, I think this is their traditional clip. There's another variation where it looks a little more streamlined or modern, I guess, but this is what Kaweco calls their sort of traditional clip, and I think it goes really well with the brass. And this is with a fine nib, and it's fine. It writes perfectly fine. It it lays down a good amount of ink, and it writes well. I have no complaints there. The Traveler's Company is fine, although I think if you just look on YouTube of other people's reviews on these pens, Japanese fine nibs, I think, usually tend to write a bit finer than Western European fine nibs. And this is definitely true with this. This is a fine nib, but I think it writes more like an extra fine. Like the line width is very, very fine. And that's okay with me. I don't mind it. Yeah. This is just a quick, overview of my thoughts. Maybe I'll I'll sit down and write a script that I can follow along and talk about both of these pens in a lot more detail. But I thought I would just do a quick comparison of these two brass fountain pens, two brass pocket fountain pens. I think are very comparable with each other if you're deciding on a, a pocket pen, and specifically a brass pocket pen. I think what's out there in the market, these are two popular choices, and maybe you have some questions or inquiries about it, and if you have any, just leave a comment in the comment section, and I'll reply. And yeah, well, I think that's it for now, and just see how this video goes. All right, thanks for watching.